and welcome to Brimwood Farm. Now the sun is shining and the heat is rising and spring has most certainly come to the UK. In fact, summer has almost come because we are currently in degrees of about 28 degrees centigrade, which is the hottest April we have had in about 70 years. So we did a February tour at the beginning of the year to show you kind of the bare bones of what is here on the homestead. So today, because it's so nice, and actually a lot has grown and a lot has changed, I thought we would take another little tour. Now I do need to give you one word of warning about the upcoming video. It contains cuteness. So yeah, that thing where I said I wasn't going to have ducks because I didn't have space. As you can see, there seems to be a swimming pool, or paddling pool, with 3 baby ducks in it in my kitchen. Yes, ducklings have arrived. I'm quickly realising that duck math is almost certainly like chicken math. I have to limit myself with these though because I really don't have the space, especially when these are going to be adults. But for now we have these 3 little khaki Campbells. There'll be more about them coming up on tomorrow's smallholding diaries. But let's now go outside and check out what's going on. Now the conservatory is still the main growing space and we've got quite a few seeds on, as you can see. So these are some calendula. The first of the spinach has started to come up. I've just realised actually there is a tiny little esmeralda cucumber there coming up. So there's seedlings all here. More seedlings down here, more seedlings down here, more seedlings in here, peppers, tomatoes, sweet peas. So there's a lot going on in the conservatory in terms of stuff that's going to need to go outside eventually. One thing was that I noticed today, or yesterday I should say, up there you can see some very limp pieces of kiwi. And what happened was it was so hot yesterday it actually burnt the top of the kiwi plants. So that's what's happened there. We have some lovely strong vines still coming up though. So hopefully this is year 3, we may get some kiwis. It's a self-fertilising kiwi as far as I know. Look at that blue sky. It's amazing. So yes, so that's all that's going on in here. Now outside we've had a bit of a change around, as you know. So the Sarracenias used to be over here by the house. They've actually moved out to kind of create a little bit of a nook for sitting. And that wasn't for that reason. That was because obviously we had the new hutch to fit in. The quails did not get the idea of going upstairs at all. So we have our broody hen and chicks up there at the moment, who's scatty as hell. Hello. But she's being a good mama, and that's important. So she's in there. Can I get this shot? Oh, come on. There we go. But as you can see, spring has arrived, so things like the hosta is coming up. These are the trees. They're just starting to come out. The beech hasn't yet come into leaf, but the little oak trees are starting, as are the ash. So this is European ash. You can see that's just starting to bud there. And then the oak. And it's the same with all of them. So if we come across, here's some of the white daffs. If we come across here, you can see that the beech, still nothing, but the oaks are all starting to come out, and then the ashes as well. So beech must just be a little behind. And then the older tree is also looking rather nice. Excuse me. I've had a cold all of this week. So that's looking rather nice as well. We've rearranged the 2 bit of alpine troughs. Obviously they've still got all these iris reticulata leaves, which they look a bit messy, but we need to leave them because they need to suck up as much energy as possible to make the bulbs big and fat so they'll flower next year. The strawberries need a bit of a clean out, and as do the little plants up here. I need to kind of water them and chop them and make sure they're doing good. In here, this is just kind of I was about to say a holding pen, but that's for animals. A holding tub, I suppose, for wild plants, for pond plants. So this has always been in here. This is a reed and it lives in here, but these I actually bought with some of the money my patrons have given me. And these will be going up for the farm restoration. So we've got a yellow flag iris, we've got a water plantain. I think this, what is this? This is water forget-me-not, and then this is a lovely water mint. So they will be going up to the farm for part of the pond restoration, and we're just going to get them in to that pond as quickly as possible so they can start to grow and make an impact on the soil around. We've got this here, all of these lovely sarracenias. You can see they're always starting to bud, to flower, but everything's looking nice. So that's that. The olive trees, which we bought from IKEA, they were a £5 a couple of years ago, and they were tiny. I mean, they were like here, are doing really, really well. So we've got 2 of those, and then this is the magnolia that I bought for the farm as well, and that's doing really well. That's probably doubled in size. It didn't flower this year, but it's still a little baby, so hopefully next year it will start to flower. The flower beds are starting to green up. Now this is the sunniest border, so this is kind of the big sunny bed, as I've said before, and it will actually have cut flowers in it later this year, so that's why there's a lot of soil on display, because I haven't actually transplanted any of the dahlias or things like that into it yet. And then there'll be some more further up as well around the aviary to kind of disguise and add some height. Around here we've got more daffs that are just going over, these gorgeous wallflowers. I think it's called Sunset Red. And then these heucheras are the heucheras I found the other day, where they'd been marked down from £6 to £1.26, and because they'd been dried out. But you can see all of this is fresh foliage, all of it. So that is a perfectly healthy plant. I haven't actually popped them into the ground yet. They're still obviously in their pots, but I've just been placing them, so I've got 3. So I think I'm going to have one here, one there, and then another one down there, and it kind of draws the eye along and gives some interesting foliage. And of course they kind of offer foliage throughout the year as well, which is quite nice. They're not specifically evergreen, but they will actually hold some of the colour during the winter. The rose is budding, the smoke bush is starting to bud, especially at the top here. The elderflower. These are the upright thornless blackberries from Libera. They're coming out really well. There's a lovely little bee fly here. I love them because they've got that funny little proboscis. Come then mate, fly away. This is the aviary. Obviously we took the quail out, so now we have just our female Reeves pheasant in here. She's obviously hiding. She normally hides at the back into her hutch. And we've got tons of babies at the moment, baby zebra finches. They've all started, you can see there's one there. Actually there's a few down the back corner there. Those white ones are babies. The Bengalees are out, and as are the diamond doves. So the diamond doves are just here, chilling out on the feeder, enjoying the sunshine. I don't think we can see the Reeves hen. She's hiding away, as she does all the time. She's normally in the back. No, she's... oh, actually I can see her face. I don't know if we're going to be able to find her. No, she is down that corner, but you can't really see her. More white daffs. As you can see, they're actually starting to go over now. There is our escapee hen, Miracle. Always escaping, aren't you? I just don't even bother trying to keep her in these days. because you just like to come out and dust bathe, don't you? But one chicken doesn't do a hell of a lot of damage to the garden. If she and all her friends are out, then it'd be another matter entirely, but she's normally pretty good. So this is mainly the shady bed. So we have got a rose here. This rose is really good and it has really vibrant pink flowers, which is amazing, and light up in this shady patch. We've got this beautiful Brunnera. It's obviously flowering at the moment with these little white flowers, but really you keep it for the foliage. And as you can see, the foliage is really, really pretty. Those two cuttings of the honeysuckle have done amazingly and are very quickly starting to colonise this space. So hopefully they'll be all across that trellis soon, giving a ton of scent and flower. And then lovely little things like these geums are starting to flower as well. This is going to be a little orange geum, and then I think I have a little strawberry red geum down here as well. One of my favourite plants at the moment, this euphorbia with the zesty yellowy green flowers and florets on top of this dark foliage with kind of the blood red stems. Really, really nice. Really great plant. And again, there's a lot of bare soil at the moment because it hasn't been dug over and I haven't planted out sort of cutting flower plants and things like that to fill out the borders. So what's here is stuff that is out all year round. So it's herbaceous perennials, evergreen perennials and things like that that are out all year round. You can see that there's a lot of stuff coming. So these little ferns are coming up, and once they've all exploded into leaf, you actually won't see a lot of the soil because they'll be over the top of it. There's another geum. There's our lovely little white vinca from Monday Magic a while back. Only just the one flower, but I don't mind. It's starting to spread itself, which is lovely. A rogue serviette. Don't know what that's doing down there. This is kind of the corner that I don't know what to do with, so we'll discuss that later. And then we're kind of in the veggie patch. So we've just got a couple of cow plants left. This is already ripped out and we're going to have radishes in here. I still haven't taken all the beets out, so we've got obviously beets still. Nothing's been planted in that end yet. The last of the turnips, which are obviously going to flower, and they need to come out. And then down this end we have got some spring onions. Now you have to look very carefully. If I come down like this you can see them more. So we have got spring onions planted in this end. Really coming up nicely. And then I can probably take this tunnel off now. This was actually for the herbs, but it's so hot. It'll probably be rather baking. This is the dill, the coriander, and the parsley are in here. So this is coriander right in front of us, and then the dill, the parsley are down the other end. The cordon trees, my 3 cordon trees. This is the pear. Not flowered yet, but it's got tons of leaf growth on it. Not a lot of bud. The apple, however, is doing really well. Tons of flowers, and this is why I really like cordons, because it's not on a really, really tall tree. They're really low down. So if they flower, you just come across and you pick the apples off. There's no reaching up into tangled trees and things. But looking really, really pretty. So let's hope that at least some of these buds get fertilised and make us a few apples. And then it's the same thing with the plum. Now the plum actually has already flowered before the apple. So whereas it was just covered in flowers, we've now got obviously all this new growth. But there's a lot of flower in there. So the main thing is, again, we want that to be fertilised so it produces plums. Last year I did have a few flowers, but none of them were fertilised and they all fell off, which was rather disappointing. But I would hope with the amount of flowers on this, I would get some plums at least. So we'll see how we do on that. It's a sure sign of spring though when you get all this lovely blossom. Down to my laying flock. Hello girls. And single boy, how you doing? You enjoying the weather? Are you trying to escape up there? Making a lot of noise. And I must take you into the greenhouse to show you a naughty hen. So the greenhouse is still much of a mess. There's not a vast amount going on in here. Apart from we have got a naughty hen in here. And this naughty hen I discovered was egg eating. So I thought my hens weren't laying. Sadly they have been, and she had been eating maybe 10 eggs a day. Because since putting her into here, I've gone from 3 or 4 eggs each day to, I think I had 13 this morning. So sadly for this little henny penny, I'm not going to rehome her because that would be really, really naughty of me, because she'd just go and egg eat at somebody else's house. And I can't put her back in the main flock because she will just eat all the eggs. And so this little henny penny will be going to market, namely my kitchen market. And then just in here there's not a lot going on. There's a few buddleias, there's some palms, some pheasant grasses, some heucheras. These are the heucheras that I took cuttings of last year, and you can see they are producing new leaves. So the main leaves have now died off and they are producing these lovely little new leaves. Even this one, you can see tiny little new leaves. So the original leaves will often die away. As you can see on this one, this was the original leaf here, but it's producing all this fresh new growth. And then I've got a few lettuces growing here. So that is a quick whiz around Brimwood Farm to show you what's going on here. And you can see that we're on a tiny plot, but trying to do as much as possible. So that is a brief look at everything that's going on here at Brimwood Farm, and it really feels like it's a whirlwind now, because now the season has got started. It was stymied for so long by that cold, and now it's warmed up, everything is going mad. So there'll be loads more videos of what's going on here. There will also be tons of videos coming up of the farm vlog, so what's going on at the land up in Suffolk. We will start doing projects again for this year, and I'll get you guys all involved with them and show you what's happening up there. If you've liked the video, as always, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button so you don't miss out. If you're on Facebook, come across and join Brimwood Farm's community group there, and I will see you again soon. Bye.